Aloha and namaste. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Nicki Doane, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. So I put something out recently on social media and I asked my students what kind of things they were interested in as far as yoga practices and videos. And one of the things that came up for a lot of people was, please do a short, simple practice on how to stretch the legs. And I was like, okay, I can definitely do that. So that's what this practice is going to be. It's a short, simple practice, maybe about 20 minutes to stretch your legs. And specifically, I'm talking about the back of the legs. Okay, so let me just give you a real quick anatomy lesson, because this is something that's going to help you in any yoga class you go to. Okay, so these are the legs, right? We have a front of the leg and the back of the leg. And two of the biggest muscle groups in the body are in the legs because this is our foundation, right? So we've got the quadriceps in the front. That's made of 4 muscles. Quad means 4. The hamstrings in the back of the leg is a group of 3 muscles. So what's unique about these 2 muscles is that they are in relationship. They're agonist and antagonist. And what that means is that in order to stretch, to lengthen the hamstring, you have to contract the quadricep. And if you want to stretch the quadricep, you have to contract the hamstring, okay? So that means that when we're doing these poses, which we're going to do together in a minute, you have to be engaging your quadricep. We're going to focus today on stretching the back of the leg. And the reason for that is because when the hamstrings are tight and short, they pull on the pelvis because they actually attach at your sitting bones, which is part of your pelvis. If they're pulling your pelvis under, it's going to shorten your back, right? It's going to do this, and then you're going to start to bend forward. If there's no give in your hamstrings, the pressure, the stretch is going to be in your lower back. That's not where we want to feel it. So we want long hamstrings so that we can roll the pelvis around the femurs, okay? Super simple, but important to know. So when I say lift the kneecaps, I'm asking you to engage your quadriceps. So with that said, you're going to need a couple things that'll really make this practice a lot more fruitful. Okay? You need a blanket, a couple of blocks, make sure they're even, a set of blocks. So if you have blocks or you're buying blocks, buy a set, okay? And then a belt. Any kind of belt will do. If you have a yoga belt, that's ideal. So the first pose is called Parsvottanasana. It's a standing pose. So we're going to take the blocks and you put them at the top of your mat on their highest setting. Then step your right foot forward between the blocks and your left foot back. How much distance is between your feet? I say about the length of one of your legs. Make it personal. And then look down and align your feet so they're heel to heel. All right, now, if you feel wobbly, like you feel like you're walking on a tightrope, then you're going to separate your feet laterally. That means your right foot would go to the right, your left foot a little more to the left, okay? That's if your legs are really stiff, you'll probably want to have a slightly wider stance. Otherwise, in general, heel to heel. Okay, and then put your hands on your hips. Roll your shoulders back, straighten your legs, and now look down at your right foot. Lift the tips of all 5 toes. And when you lift the tips of your toes, you're going to feel the base of your big toe grounded. Okay, that's what you want to feel. And then spread your toes. So spread your big toe to the left, your little toe to the right. Keep your ankle over your heel. Okay, the alignment is important. And now lift your kneecap. So straighten your leg, engage your quadricep. Now, with your hands on your hips, lean back, almost like you're doing a back bend. Take a deep inhalation, lift your chest, press into your back heel, that's your left one. And exhale, come forward with your legs straight and take your hands to the blocks. So once you're down here, you're going to feel the back of your leg a lot more. So again, organize your foundation. Keep the weight on the big toe side of your right foot, the little toe side of your back foot. Lift and spread your toes and keep breathing. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, holding your breath. Those are all signs that you have a lot of tension in your being. So find your breath, keep breathing, and now look at your right knee and lift it up. Lift your kneecap. Remember, when I say lift your kneecap, I'm asking you to engage your quadricep. Draw your right hip back. So your right sitting bone moves closer to your left. And as you go to make that action, make sure your right foot stays grounded. And then press into your back heel. So go ahead and look at your back foot. Lift all 5 toes on your left foot. Stamp your heel down and then lift the kneecap on your left leg and bring your left hip forward. Press your hands into the block, lift your chest so your sternum moves forward. And here you got to be really careful, okay? Because when the legs are stiff, as soon as we start to lift the chest, this right hip starts to come forward and you can't let it. So the directions have to build. You got to start with the feet, then the knees, then the hips, then the spine. Now draw your shoulders back and away from your ears and keep breathing. Activate your quadriceps and soften your jaw. And if your legs are stiff and you go to lift your head to look forward and it doesn't feel good on your neck, then please don't do it. Just look down. Now listen carefully. Bend your right leg. Press through both feet. Inhale, come up. Keep your right leg bent. Step your left foot forward and your right foot back. So again, set it up on this side. Left foot forward, right foot back. Check the alignment, right? Heel to heel. Now look at your left foot. Lift the tips of all 5 toes. Spread your big toe to the right, your little toe to the left. Engage your quadriceps. Now lean back almost like you're doing a back bend. Press into your back heel. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, keep your legs straight as you come forward and put your hands on the blocks. So have the blocks under your shoulders, your wrists under your shoulders. Keep breathing, and now look at your left foot. Lift the tips of all 5 toes and roll the weight to the big toe side of your foot. Spread your big toe to the right and your little toe to the left. Look at your ankle, make sure it's over your heel, and now lift your left kneecap. Straighten your left leg and breathe. And as soon as you lift your kneecap, you might feel your hamstring even more. And that's good. Just soften your jaw and breathe through your nose. Draw your left hip back. Right? And remember, as soon as you draw your hip back, keep your left foot grounded. Then look towards your back foot. Press your right heel down. Lift all 5 toes on your right foot. Lift your kneecap. Draw your right hip forward. Keep breathing. And then lift your chest. Draw your shoulders back and away from your ears. And listen, it's important to understand that these poses, stretching your legs, especially when you're stiff, it's a lot safer when your butt is off the floor. So standing poses are some of the best poses to stretch your legs. So lift your kneecap, soften your jaw, breathe through your nose. Look forward if you can. Good. Now bend your left leg. Step your right foot forward to join your left. Uttanasana. That's the standing forward bend. So keep your feet together so your big toes touch. And put the block in front of you about 1 foot. Okay, straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Now, if the block is too far, you can use your second block, whether it's 1.5 or whether, if you're really stiff, you might need 2, okay? But if you can use 1, use 1. Straighten your legs, look down at your feet. Now you're stretching your legs together, which is a little stronger on your lower back. So lift and spread your toes, lift your kneecaps, spin your thighs towards each other and breathe. Remember, to stretch your hamstrings, you have to engage your quadriceps. It's just the way we were designed. So if you feel this in your lower back and you still want to stretch your legs, you got to take your hands higher. Don't bend your knees. If you bend your knees, you're not going to stretch your legs. So figure out a way to modify the pose so you can protect your back and keep your legs straight. Now, bend your knees, roll on up. Triangle pose. We'll do one more standing pose. So stand in the middle of your mat, separate your feet wide, at least the length of one of your legs. Turn your right foot to the right and your left heel to the left. And again, roughly heel to heel. Now take the block, put it on the little toe side of your right foot, your leg, somewhere between your ankle and your knee. Put your hands on your hips. Look down at your right foot. Lift all 5 toes. Spread your big toe to the right, your little toe to the left. Externally rotate your right leg so your kneecap points towards your little toe. And then turn your chest to face the long side of your mat. Inhale, lift your arms, press into your back heel, and exhale, reach out through your right arm and put your right hand on the block and your left hand on your waist. And again, if the block feels far away, remember, you can get creative. Yeah. I like it with just one myself. So once you're here, straighten your legs. Again, lift your kneecaps to stretch your hamstrings. Roll both shoulders back and stretch your left arm straight up. Take your right ear away from your right shoulder. Okay. Roll your right shoulder back and breathe. So either look straight ahead or look down if that bothers your neck. Please don't look up yet. Straighten your knees. Activate your quadriceps. And breathe. Now draw your chin towards your throat. Slowly turn your head to the left. Look up at your left thumb. Take a nice deep inhale here. Straighten your legs. Exhale, look down. Put your left hand on your waist. Bend your right knee. Take the block. Inhale, come up and switch sides. Turn your right foot in, your left foot out. Put the block behind your left leg. And again, hands to your hips. Lift all 5 toes, spread them. Lift your kneecap. Externally rotate your left leg. Push into your right heel. Inhale, lift your arms. And exhale, take your left hand to the block. Your wrist should be under your shoulder. So that's why I suggest the block somewhere between your knee and your ankle, okay? Now roll your left shoulder back. Look at your left foot. Keep the weight on the big toe side of that foot. Lift your kneecap and then push into your back heel. Roll both shoulders back and then stretch your right arm straight up. If that doesn't feel stable to keep your arm up, you keep your hand on your hip. Okay? But if it's up, lift your left ear away from your left shoulder. Roll both shoulders back and keep breathing. And if you need to keep looking down to remind your legs to wake up, do it. Because remember, if you don't engage your quadriceps, you're not stretching your hamstrings. And you really need to stretch your hamstrings for everything. Right? That's why the American Medical Association has come out and said that sitting is the new smoking. It's that bad for your health. Sitting shortens your hamstrings and your psoas. Really not good for your lower back. Now look down, right hand to your waist. Take the block, bend your left leg, up you come. Parallel your feet and walk your feet together. Now, lay down. So now we're going to do Supta Padangustasana. So similar to what we just did, so you're going to take a blanket. Why not? Fold it. That's going to be for your head. And then take the belt, open it up so it's nice and long. Lay on your back. Now you could do this with your feet against the wall or not. I often do teach it that way, but I'm going to keep it simple because you could do this anywhere. Straighten your left leg to the floor. Lift your right foot and put the belt around your right foot. I like it across the knuckles of my toes. Some people like it in the arch. You put it where you like it. Now, before you straighten your leg, even out the belt. Okay, so each side is the same. And then go all the way to the ends and wrap the belt once, maybe twice, around your hands. And then straighten both legs. So your right foot, the alignment's really important. See how my heel is over my sitting bone? That's where I want it. So if you are very flexible, you don't start like this, okay? Keep your heel over your sitting bone. And if you're quite stiff, you might find that to get your legs straight, your foot is way further back. It's okay because it's straight. And when it's straight, you'll be able to engage your quadricep and stretch your hamstring. Now just lift your head, look at your left foot, internally rotate your left leg. You could point your toes or flex your foot, just keep it awake. Now look at your right foot, flex it a little, push up through the big toe side of your foot, activate your right quadricep and draw your outer right hip towards your left foot. Keep breathing. Press your shoulders, your upper back into the floor, lift your chest and breathe. Soften the grip on the belt. Soften your jaw. And then go ahead and release. All right, switch sides. So bend your left, extend your right. Now put the belt around your left foot again, wherever you like it. And then straighten your left leg. This time, start by lifting your head. Look at your right foot, the bottom one. Press out through the ball of the big toe bone. All right, see if you can really wake up your foot. Your heel's down, your toes are up. Now engage your right quadriceps, so press your thigh down. Keep breathing. And now focus on your left leg. So do your best to get your left heel over your sitting bone and tighten your quadricep. So squeeze your left thigh to the bone. Outer left hip towards your right foot. Keep breathing. So remember, straight. Whether that's way back here or you have to pull the reins on and be just right here with this alignment. And the reason I'm specific about the alignment here for you flexible people is that we're really trying to balance the pelvis, okay? Often you'll see this. People will go to lift their leg, lengthen it, and they'll lose the awareness in their sitting bones. You want to keep the sitting bones moving towards each other so that what you're stretching safely is your hamstring. So let's take a couple more breaths here. Press your upper back into the floor. Lift your chest. Keep your elbows close to your torso and breathe. Very nice, good. Now release, take the belt off, roll to your side, sit up. Okay, so the last pose is Upavishta Konasana, which is the seated angle. So this is Upavishta. You open your legs to about 90 degrees, okay? Maybe a little bit more, but don't go for the side splits. If your hamstrings are tight and you sit like this and this happens, if you roll onto your back, right? If you roll really towards your back of the sitting bones, that's not okay, because then you start to go forward, you're stretching your back and not your legs. If that's the case, take a blanket and sit on it. See that? When you sit on the blanket, it gives you leverage. So activate your legs and then take your hands back behind you, lift your chest, look at your legs so your feet are flexed, engage your quadriceps, press your thighs down. Lift your kneecaps, lift your chest, and if your neck feels okay, look back. Sometimes I like to bend my elbows a little, and then I get more lift through my sternum. And then slowly lower your chin, and now we're going to test. Take your hands off the floor and put them on your thighs. If your pelvis stays forward, meaning you're more towards the front of your sitting bones and your spine stays lifted, great. That means that you can start to come forward. However, if you sit up and this happens, right, you collapse, then I suggest you stay upright and stretch your legs like that. But if you can, start to walk your hands forward and see if you can come down. Whether it's to your elbows, maybe this is enough like downward dog, or maybe some of you can go all the way down. Okay? But anywhere you are, keep your quadriceps engaged. Try to get your inner knees towards the floor. Keep your toes up and press out through the balls of your big toe bones. Activate your quadriceps and soften your jaw. So remember, the trick to stretching the hamstrings is learning how to engage your quadriceps. And then slowly sit up, take your knees from the inside, lean back, bend your legs, simple cross legs, and there you have it. A really simple, short practice to stretch your hamstrings, to lengthen your legs and free your life. Well, maybe not your life, but at least your legs and your back. Hopefully your life. Anyway, aloha and namaste.